Good afternoon, everyone. We'll allow a second for people to come in and join us. All right, welcome. My name is Taya Brown, and I'm the Administrative Coordinator at the Temple SBDC. The Temple SBDC helps small businesses start, grow, and succeed. We do this through our no-cost consulting and a variety of webinars like the one you're in training for today. You are joining us for our event, Building Profitable Relationships with LinkedIn. We are recording today's session, and a copy of that recording and today's PowerPoint will be sent to all attendees within a few days in a follow-up email. All attendees have been muted. We encourage you to post questions in our Q&A box. Now I'll turn over the floor to Curt and Nicole.
Hey, Taya, thank you so much, guys. Happy Tuesday, or no, is it Wednesday already, Nicole? I think it's Wednesday already, isn't it? So awesome.
Yes.
So, man, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I want to give a shout out to a few people. I see some familiar names. Regina's always here. Richard, man, how are you? We've got Serena, Sean, Sonia, Steven, all sorts of folks here. So Howard, Evelyn, Erica, if I missed you, Dwight's here, Isabel, Jacqueline, hopefully I'm saying that right, Jasmine. Guys, thank you for joining us. This is a workshop today, so we'd love to make this super interactive, lots of fun. So now, if you read the screen and you notice like, hey, this is supposed to be Wesleyen, I have I have my dear friend Nicole today. I'm going to give you a quick intro here in 1 second. So what I'd love to do is I'd like to get everybody going in the chat box here. What I'm doing right now is I just dropped my LinkedIn profile. I dropped Nicole's LinkedIn profile. We'd like to make this super interactive. So let's give a shout out to the Small Business Development Center here at Temple University. Man, they are absolutely amazing. They are all stars. Their services are completely free and confidential. If you're coming to us outside of the Philadelphia area, there is an SBDC near you. I believe there's nearly 20 in the great state of Pennsylvania. So guys, check out the Small Business Development Center. Again, they are here to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So now I want to give each and every single one of you a big thank you for taking time out of your busy day. We know how precious and valuable your time is. Boy, we never take this for granted. We have a fun-filled, valuable workshop for you planned today. So again, thank you. You are the heroes of our economy as entrepreneurs out there fighting relentlessly for your businesses. So thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And once again, boy, I'd love for everybody, drop your LinkedIn. Serena, I see you drop that. Thank you for joining us today. Dress for Success. I love it. Drop your LinkedIn profile, drop your website. We'd love to know where you're coming from. Again, if we were in person, boy, we'd be high-fiving, maybe shaking hands. I don't know if we're shaking hands through COVID, but we'd be high-fiving, handing out business cards. But let's exchange our LinkedIn profiles. Drop that link in the chat box. As I move forward, I want to give and guys, again, if this is one of your first times joining us, we'd love to make this super interactive. Quick pop quiz here. Who loves making cold calls? Please, like, who are those, like, those really demented? I'm just kidding. How those people that are really aggressive? Nicole, you like that word scrappy. Does anybody out there like making cold calls? If you do, drop that in the chat box. But today we want to talk about LinkedIn. How do we max out LinkedIn? So hopefully our goal, our intention is that, boy, you just don't have to, we put that in the past. You don't need to make those cold calls anymore. So we'll keep moving forward. Again, drop your LinkedIn in the chat box. We'd love to hear where you're coming from. But Nicole, happy Wednesday, my friend. How are you? Let's give a little Let's give a little shout out. So you are a fractional marketing leader. You are helping small businesses win more happy customers. Man, you have so much going on. You're an amazing wife, wonderful mom. Tell the crowd, who is Nicole Donnelly? What's going on in your world?
Who is Nicole Donnelly? I love, love, love small businesses. You guys are my heroes. I fight for you every single day. I love to help support you any way I can grow your businesses. And that's what I do every day for my clients, is try to help them grow, scale, and help delight their customers. That's what I'm all about. So I'm super, super excited to be here and support you guys with all the amazing things that you're bringing to the economy. It's awesome. Thank you.
That's fantastic. And again, Sonia, she dropped her LinkedIn profile in the chat box. Again, guys, love to see where you're coming from. And again, Nicole, you're very modest, you're very humble, but you are certified HubSpot guru. You're doing all sorts of great inbound marketing strategies and tactics for companies, mainly in the B2B space, and in particular manufacturers. You and I are a wonderful LinkedIn connection. And so again, this is a great testimonial on how LinkedIn works. So guys, again, thank you for joining us today. My name is Curt Anderson. My tagline, my shtick, I'm an e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers. Number one job on the planet. I'm a proud girl dad. And so I wrote this little book. The title of the book is Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. So that's the goal today, is like, how can we stop being the best kept secret? So, all right, let's keep moving forward here. So, oh man, I jumped. All right, who's ready to start spreading a little bit of awesomeness? Who's ready to start spreading a little bit of awesomeness? And we're like, hey, heck yeah, right? Heck yeah, we're ready to start spreading our awesomeness. And that's exactly what LinkedIn is for. Help you stop being the best kept secret and to get out there and like let the world know what you do. Because man, Taya, you were telling me earlier, the folks coming to this crowd today at Temple, they have greatness within you. And we want to talk about that today. There's my friend, Richard Hahn. Richard, how are you, my friend? So, all right. How do you find your LinkedIn superpower? So pop quiz, first question. Nicole, if you want to chime in, what I would love to hear from everybody: Sonia, Serena, Evelyn, Howard, Isabel, Erica, Dwight, Carlon, Jacqueline, Jasmine, Marianne, all you guys. What is your superpower? What is your superpower when your ideal customer is out there? They have a problem that needs to be solved, a product needs to be purchased. What is your superpower? Type that in the chat box. Nicole, you do an amazing job working with your clients. How do you help them identify, and with humility, how do you help them pull out what their superpowers are?
Ooh, great question, Curt. So usually what I like to do to figure out what their superpowers are is talk to their customers. I like to ask their customers what and get feedback from them on what their superpowers are. So usually the first part of an engagement I have with the client is I'm interviewing their customers one-on-one, trying to learn as much as I can about what they love about the company and really dive deep in that way, and then surveying their customers to get that information. So that's how I usually help them find out what their superpower is through their customers.
That's fantastic. Again, and Nick, Michael, Pearl, and you guys out there, absolutely love to hear what you have going on. Share with us, and don't be modest. You're in a safe place. You're with friends. What is your superpower? So we've got Jasmine is business optimization. Business optimization. Jasmine, I would love to hear, like, take us a little bit further. I'd like to know a little bit more what that means. Sonia, you do content and graphics that relate with products and services. Love it. Serena, empathy for the customer, client, in our case, personalized investment and financial planning. Sean, man, if you need financial planning, you want to reach out to Sean. So again, guys, this is fantastic. So again, keep that chat box on fire. Love to know, like, what are your superpowers? Why are people contacting you? Pearl, help contractors meet their minority participation goals.
Love that.
Dude, that was awesome. I absolutely love that, Pearl. Very concise. Love that. Howard is here today. Solve their problems with my experience, or even avoid problems in the first place. Again, what I'd like to do is I'd love to get a little bit more specific here. Allergy-friendly baked goods, Becca, way to go. So let's go here for a second, Nicole.
Let's do it.
We want to make a great first web impression when somebody lands on any of our LinkedIn profiles. How do we make that great first web impression? Now look at the expression on these young people. Isn't that absolutely priceless? Now we're in Philadelphia today. I know this young man has a Yankee shirt, so you have to forgive me. I couldn't find a young man with a Philadelphia Phillies shirt, but look at the expression on these young people. Isn't that absolutely priceless? Now, Nicole, I don't know about you. I'm trying to have my family members have the same expression when I walk through the door, when I come home. It hasn't quite worked. I don't know about your house, but talk about, how do you make
You
a
just
great
need to give them ice cream with sprinkles, Curt, when they
ice
walk in
cream
the
with
door,
sprinkles?
and then you'll get that happy face. I guarantee it. That's
You know
gonna do
what?
it.
You know who has this expression? I have a big Rottweiler. Man, he is just God. I love, what's better than unconditional love from your dog? But talk a little bit about, how do you make a great first web impression? Why is that so? I'm being Captain Obvious, but why is that so impressed? Why is that so important?
It's just the way that I like to tell my customers to do this is you want to put yourself in the shoes of your customer and make sure you're speaking to your soulmate, right? So you want to think about who is your soulmate? Who is it that you're really trying to help? Who is that ideal customer of yours? And you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is speaking directly to them and answering their questions, their pain, showing how you're going to help them. So you make it about them, not about you.
Perfect. Absolutely. And Steven, welcome, my friend. I've never had problems. I only have challenges and can look forward to them. You need a big bag. Dude, that's great advice. I'll come walking in the house handing out dollar bills. So guys, what you want to do is we're going to dig in. We're going to talk about that ideal customer. If you've come to any of our workshops in the past, we talk about that. We call them our soulmates. Man, I hate to say it. Basically that LinkedIn profile, it's just like, thank goodness I'm not single, but if we were all single, it's like having that dating site, right? So we want to have those date traits that attract those soulmates. Nicole, you do an amazing job of taking a deep dive with your clients, understanding that persona. We just did a persona exercise on Monday with a wonderful client in Chicago. Talk to the folks. Why is it so important to get a deep understanding on that buyer persona?
Yes, you want to make sure you really understand who they are, what drives them, what their fears are, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what makes them mad. Because the more that you know that information, the more you're going to be able to speak and sell your solution to them to help solve those problems. So
That's absolutely perfect. So guys, if you haven't gone through, we work, Nicole and I work with a lot of folks in the B2B space, a lot of manufacturers. And so, and again, you might be like, hey, I'm way past this. But if this is new to you, this was new to me years ago. And boy, this is transformational. So when you take a deep dive and understand who that ideal buyer is, who your soulmate is, boy, you have such greater odds of success with your marketing efforts. This here is a perfect example. This is my dear friend. This is Monica Ventez. You take a look at Monica. She's in her 30s. She has 2 children. You're going to find her hanging out at sporting events on evenings and weekends. She is super, super critically concerned and on maintaining her stellar reputation. You're going to find her on LinkedIn. Okay. So like maybe, we saw our allergy friendly baked goods. Well, maybe LinkedIn's not the best place. Maybe we're crushing it on Instagram, Becca. For anybody else here, like our financial planner, where's our friend Sean, our financial planner? Maybe he's hanging out on LinkedIn and that's how he's going to connect with Monica. So again, let's take a deep dive into that ideal buyer. Now, Nicole, when we try to be everything to everyone, what happens?
we are nothing to no one.
Nothing to no one, right? Jack of all trades, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. So what we want to do is we want to focus down, and Regina, you probably heard this from us before, right? You want to focus on those niches. Why? The riches are hanging out
in the niches.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about that for a second, Nicole. So let's say so guys, let's go back a little bit. If I talk like Howard, solve their problems from my experience or avoid problems in the first place. Sean, personalized investment, financial planning, empathy, Serena, empathy for the customer. Let's take it one step further, go a little deeper, niche it down a little bit further. So I'd love to have you guys type that in the chat box. Write a little bit about, what exactly is that problem that you're solving? Who is that ideal buyer? So let's, my little tagline here, how do you niche down till it hurts so good? How do you niche down till it hurts so good? So talk a little bit about, as a matter of fact, let's change gears. Let's talk about who is your soulmate. So as you're niching down and you're focusing on your superpower, let's put in the chat box, who is your soulmate? Who is that ideal buyer that you're targeting? Love to have that. So Nick, Michael, Marianne, Jasmine, if you guys want to pop a couple things in there, love to hear like who you're targeting. And again, that's going to make your life so much easier as we build out that LinkedIn profile. So let's take a look here, Nicole. Did I skip a slide?
Ooh, it's a Venn diagram, Curt. Wow.
Let's go here. Yeah. All right. So you know what? We got a couple things coming in here. Let's see. Steven says, read the book, Positive Personality Profiles by Dr. Rome. That's a fantastic suggestion. Sharon, commercial loan broker. Fantastic. And again, what type of commercial loans are you putting out? Are they real estate? Are they equipment based? Are they, what are they putting out there for collateral? So again, let's get real specific. Let's niche down and think about who is that ideal buyer. Nicole, let's talk about this a little bit about this Venn diagram. What's why? Obviously, I'm being Captain Obvious again, right? Why is this know, like, trust so important?
Oh, because trust is the core of every great relationship, every great partnership. That's the first most important thing that your customers are looking for is trust. They want to trust you, they want to know you, they want to like you. So, so critical that you establish that trust with that soulmate of yours. Yep.
Absolutely perfect. And so, Howard, thank you. He's got help import customers deal. This is phenomenal. Howard, great job with their supply chain issues and changing customer requirements. Great job. Now you've niched it down, and now I have a clear understanding of what you're doing. Sonia. Well, I manage several LinkedIn business accounts. One of the company's legal services for HR professionals and small business owners. Perfect. Jasmine, businesses struggling with productivity and organizational structure. Well done. That's fantastic. So again, drop a soulmate in there. So like Jasmine, who is that company? Is it B2B? Is it in a SaaS company? Are you targeting software companies? Sonia, maybe drop in there, several LinkedIn business accounts. So again, drop in like who specifically, like who is that ideal customer? Who's that target? And then how can we step out to LinkedIn? Hey, pop quiz. Nicole, you're probably like 3 when this movie came out, right? This movie is like my favorite movie in Philadelphia. Anybody name this movie? Can anybody name this movie? Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy. Does anybody? Sean, dude, thank you. Thank you. Trading Places. If you haven't seen it, man.
I've never seen this movie, Curt.
Oh, man. It's a great, I like it. You're way too young. It probably came out when you were like 3. So that is so funny. So this is a great movie, and I'll save it for another time. I met Dan Aykroyd one time at a comedy festival. I was so starstruck. I like totally panicked and I couldn't get any words out. So I just wanted to, that's a great story. So I had my cell phone out and I went to take a picture. And when he turned around, I took a picture of myself. How's that? Is that hysterical or what? Okay. So Steven, to help people understand just how easily you could be trapped in your car if you can't break a window or cut your seatbelt out. So everybody is my soulmate, especially the way some people drive today. So that's perfect. And Steve, and I believe you had a nice little success recently. So, okay. Nicole, as we build trust, you've really been attacking LinkedIn and doing a great job. Share with everybody how you found it is so efficient, so effective, what a great means to connect with folks. What have you discovered on LinkedIn with your journey here?
Oh man, can I tell my journey? Can I tell my story?
Absolutely.
I started on LinkedIn just 1 year ago, folks. 1 year ago. I started with very few followers, very few connections, and I just started posting and commenting on other people's posts. And I was specifically targeting my soulmate, which was industrial manufacturers between 5 and 20 million in revenue a year. That's my soulmate. So I just tried to find those people on LinkedIn, and I started engaging and commenting on their posts and sharing. And through that process, I ended up meeting people through chats that I then took offline and had some really awesome one-on-one meetings with. And so, man, in the past year, I feel like I have probably at least quadrupled the number of connections that I have. And I've closed, man, at least 3 or 4 deals, high dollar deals from my relationships on LinkedIn, all in a year. It's tremendous.
That is fantastic.
And I'm a huge case study of how powerful it is.
That is fantastic to hear. So again, guys, drop if you came in later, if you're just joining us, please drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat box. I know Steven's absolutely blowing it up on LinkedIn, thousands and thousands of followers. Connect with Nicole. I'd love to connect with you. Again, connect with each other. And if you're just starting out brand new, like Nicole just said, you are not too late. She just started and she's enjoying wonderful relationships, building those trusting relationships here on LinkedIn. So, all right, so if LinkedIn is new to you, let's build out the profile. What I want to do is I want to start with the banner. Okay. You have to have a really nice banner. Boy, if you have like that blank, empty banner, just, doesn't look so great. This is a dear friend of mine. This is Ron Higgs. Man, Ron is a man of integrity. Gosh, you just love Ron Higgs. He's absolutely phenomenal. Ron Higgs let's take a look at his profile. Nice. Look at that handsome smile. He's doing great. Program manager, systems engineer, Navy vet. Okay, so he's a Navy vet. He served in the Naval Academy. God bless him. Service our service our country proudly. And check this out. Here's a fighter jet. All right, that's in the Navy. I get why he has that up there, but see that little arrow up there? That's Ron flying that fighter jet. How cool is that? So again, if you were at a networking event, or you're meeting soulmates, you're meeting ideal clients, you're networking with folks in person, boy, these are things that you would particularly talk about. Like, hey, I served in the Navy. Ron's doing that right here front and center. Boy, if you served our country proudly like Ron did, you deserve to have that little arrow. So what I just absolutely love that Ron puts that on his profile. Here's my dear friend Wesleyne. Wesleyne was going to be with us today. So if you're expecting Wesleyne, I apologize, man. She couldn't be here. Our thoughts are with Wesleyne. She's doing phenomenal. But take a look at her banner. She is a B2B sales guru. Do you want a top performing sales team? Well, heck yes, I want a top performing sales team. Invest in your sales management now with Wesleyne of Transform Sales. And again, let's go over here. Let's take a look at her headline. Transforming sales managers to lead using behavior-based skills development, hit your monthly sales quota. And if all you guys that have met Regina, for those of you that met Wesleyne in the past, she always kids around, calls herself that recovering chemist. So what we want to do is we want to have a really nice sharp banner. Look at that beautiful smiling face of Wesleyne, my dear friend Ron, and you want to have a strong headline as you're going in this process. Let's see. Steven, I added 1,000 over the weekend. You're killing it. Let's see. Can you talk about the approach you took in cultivating these new connections? Sean, absolutely. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to build out the profile as we get through, and then I'm going to go through some very specific examples of connecting and engaging, so on and so forth. And Howard, thank you. Ideal customer. Importer that needs me to fix an issue for a current problem, such as custom regulations, and has weekly imports need to go smoothly. Howard, drop the mic, brother. That was absolutely fantastic, guys. So again, man, we would love to hear what you have going on. Drop either your superpower, drop who your ideal customer is, that soulmate. We would love to keep that rolling. Nicole, take a look at this profile. What do you think of this banner of this gentleman here?
It's pretty cool. Brilliant with branding. You got some social proof there. He's sharing quotes from other people about how amazing he is. Everybody loves that social proof. Everybody loves, if your friend loves them, you love them too, right?
Well, check out, who's that social proof? Anybody know that name right there? Damon John. I don't know if there's any
Sean John, the Shark Tank.
From the Shark Tank. So like if you, boy, when you get a little testimonial from someone from Shark Tank, man, are you going to put that on a banner? Absolutely. But take a look. This is David Breyer. This guy is absolutely phenomenal. Man, if you're not connected, you need to follow this guy on LinkedIn. Google's #1 rebranding expert, slayer of the mundane, liberator of awesome. Man, like, now the thing is, if that doesn't resonate with you, David is doing you a favor, because like, if you're like, man, that's just not my jam. He did you a favor, because that's what you're going to get. If you're not looking for somebody to help you slay the mundane, or you're not looking to liberate your awesome, David's not your guy. But if you're looking to liberate your awesome, so you know what, Nicole, we're here at Temple University today. Everybody, Jasmine, Jennifer, Marianne, Michael, all you guys are liberators of awesome. So again, drop in the chat box, let us know what you guys have going on here for your ideal customer. So let's do this. What is your headline? How do you make the world a better place? Stephen, I know you're absolutely crushing it with this killer tool that you have, everybody, for safety in a vehicle. How do you make the world a better place? How do you liberate other folks? Awesome. Drop that in the chat box. I'd love to hear what you guys have going on here. Nicole, how do you make the world a better place?
How do I make the world a better place?
Want me to tell you how you do it?
You tell me. Curt.
Nicole is just a woman of integrity. She's just a breath of fresh air, salt of the earth. She is absolutely brilliant at internet marketing, HubSpot marketing in particular. And I'll tell you, you are a total blessing. So it's, I know you're too modest and too humble to share how you make the world a better place. You do on a daily basis. And again, guys, I would, Jennifer, Michael, Nick, Nicole, any of you guys out there. So Pearl dropped a note. Building stronger communities through diversity and inclusion. Pearl, I think you've been with us before. I love that line. Building stronger communities through diversity and inclusion. Man, good for you. God bless you. Stephen, you dropped a note here. I learned in the earlier meeting that I have to redo my profile. So take the time to look at it with someone's view, not yours. That's great tip there, man. Always look at it from the, and we're going to dig into that. Look into it from the other buyer. Again, you guys are being very modest, very quiet today. Love to have you drop in a box how you make this world a better place. I give people a chance to go home, man. How about that?
Love that.
Is that powerful or what? He had, if you guys, Stephen, drop your website in the chat box. He has this tool. If you're trapped in your car, he can get you out of your seatbelt within seconds. It's absolutely powerful. So if you're in a crisis moment, Stephen has your back. We make, Becca, thank you. We make delicious allergy-friendly treats so everyone can be included.
Love that.
How about that? So our folks that are challenged with peanuts or what have you, right? Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you participating. Let's take a look at my dear friend, Bonnie. Bonnie is absolutely hysterical. Dear friend, she's in Manhattan. She's a manufacturer. She's manufactured this little product up here. It goes on top of a soda cup. It's pretty wild. So if you're at a ball game and you've got all your food, I don't know, Nicole, it's like, you know, maybe your husband, Josh, could relate to me. I'm like trying to juggle everything. She's got this plastic container, goes right on top of the soda cup. And now you have your sandwich or whatever you have. It's called Go Lids. Okay, Go Lids. Let's take a look at her headline. Founder of the 2020 most innovative beverage cup lid manufacturer, elevating your, I like that word, your food service combo revenue with handheld convenience. Go Lids e-commerce store is now shipping cases. Okay. Now what Bonnie's doing is she is hysterical. She goes around Manhattan and she actually videos customers using her product, and she posted on TikTok. And she'll post on LinkedIn, but she posts a video on TikTok. Check this out, Nicole.
Oh, that's amazing.
11,000 views, 12,000 views, 764,000 views, 5.8 million views on TikTok. And she's posting everything on LinkedIn. She's all over LinkedIn. She's phenomenal. So again, you know, it doesn't matter what space you're in, you know, as long as you're in that B2B space, LinkedIn is a great place for you to be spending. Now, all right, pop quiz, everybody. What is every person's favorite word on the planet? What is every person? And Nicole, did you know that one? Everybody has one favorite word. I know there's probably plenty, but there's one favorite word. Does anybody know? Free Becca, man, you are like, that's my, she comes up, Becca, I think I'm always like, man, my favorite word is free, but what is really deep down? Yes, that's a great word. Anybody else? I'm still looking for one more. I'm looking for one more word. Anybody? Let's see what it is. You guys, money, that's darn close, right? So free, money. Sonia says money. Their name. It's Pearl, Regina, Nicole, Nick, Mike, Michael. We love hearing our name, Nicole, right? It's music to our ears.
So nice.
Unfortunately, what do we think about all day, every day? We think about ourselves. So as you guys are targeting your ideal customers, those soulmates, what are they thinking about all day, every day? They're thinking about themselves. So let's get into this for a little bit. Nicole, what's that? What's with them? What's going on here with them?
What's in it for me? That's what we're always thinking about, Curt. We're trying to think about what are we going to get out of it, right? And that's what your customer's thinking about. They want to know how this is going to help them benefit, make their lives easier, get rid of any pain points, you know, so they can do what they want to do and live their lives.
Absolutely. So this is hysterical. Stephen drops, unless it's your mother using your using your middle. Nicole, what's your middle name?
Ooh, my middle name is Marie.
So when somebody says Nicole Marie, you're probably perking up, right?
Oh,
you're like, uh-oh, like I'm
in big trouble.
I'm in big trouble, right? So Stephen, great point. I've stood corrected. We love our names 90% of the time, right? Until we get that middle name thrown in there or last name, now we're in trouble. But the goal is, as we're building out our LinkedIn profile, think about your ideal customer. I call it the Wiffies. Maybe you pronounce it Weefies, Wifeys, however you say it. What's in it for your soulmates? What's in it for your soulmates? So as you're building out your LinkedIn profile, like Steven said, let's have that other person in mind as we're going through. Now, Nicole, when you built out your LinkedIn profile a year ago, you want to focus on your core strengths, right?
That's right.
Like what were some things that you put on your profile?
Oh, that I was a HubSpot partner. I shared case study examples of previous work that I'd done so people could see that I'd seen success, certifications that I've received, classes that I've taken, all of that kind of information. And then, recommendations from other colleagues.
Right. Perfect. So, all right. So we want to, how do we brag, right? Don't you want to use that word brag, but how do we communicate our areas of expertise, maybe the walk of life that we've traveled? Boy, I've carried, 30 years of experience through this journey, or whatever, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you're 2 years into your journey, but how do you explain or communicate that without coming across offensive, right? So guys, maybe Regina, maybe you've heard this, or a couple of you guys, if you've caught these in the past, but there's this, Nicole, do you know there's this horrible, awful disease that's been plaguing? It's like a pandemic. It's been plaguing the world for like a long time.
Terrible.
It's
all
terrible.
over the internet, Curt.
It's all right.
Over.
So it's called the wee syndrome. So now I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the wee syndrome, but in mine and Nicole's world, we work with manufacturers, and I have to fully admit, I have a screenshot of my website. As a matter of fact, I should put it in our workshops where I was totally guilty of the wee syndrome. But this is how the wee syndrome works. Okay. You land on somebody's website and it goes like this. We are on time. We are top quality. We have wonderful expertise. We have amazing qualities and capabilities. We are the best. Just ask us. We will tell you how great we are. Right now, Nicole, if you met that person in person and they had that language, how would you feel? What would be going on there?
Man, I'd be like, man, I don't want to hang out with this person. All they do is care about themselves.
Right. All right.
Interesting.
So, Nicole, I know you're going to France later this year, but so unless we're traveling in Paris, guys, when you're on your LinkedIn profile, we want to maybe tone down like the whole we and me, right? That type of language. Now, Nicole, you have a young daughter. I don't know, like if any pirates, so when you think of like aye, captain, our matey, that's my little joke there. But when we use I and we use our and we use we and we use me, we're making it all about ourselves. Okay. Now, I'm sorry to throw this. This was a spammy email that I received. Look at these arrows. Every single arrow represents, they said I. This is like this was a letter okay. Nicole, when somebody only talks about themselves, maybe you get on that virtual cup of coffee, or you're at a networking event before COVID, or maybe post, whatever. How do you feel when all they do is they talk about themselves? Do you trust that person?
It's tough to trust them. Yeah, no way. Nope.
Okay, now pop quiz. Anybody drop this movie in here? If you guys remember this movie, Nicole, you're probably like maybe 11 when this came out, 12. Do you recognize this movie?
I do. I know this is a classic.
Okay, man, we got it. Sonia got it. Steven got it. So, guys, if you remember Groundhog Day, poor Bill Murray kept running into this guy over and over every day. And he was like that dreaded salesperson. Maybe we've run into that person at the networking event. We're like, oh no, here they come. They're trying to sell me something again. Well, from our digital standpoint, right, from our online presence, we can do the exact same thread. Ned, Richard, that's right. You know what? Ned Ryerson. How's that? Remember, he's going, Phil, it's Ned Ryerson. So thank you, Richard. You made my day with that one. So what we want to do is don't be Ned, right, Richard? We don't want to be Ned on your LinkedIn profile. So that was great. So guys, let me share this one with you. I love this. So I've been doing LinkedIn trainings for a long time. You can tell this is an outdated LinkedIn profile. This is from 2014. Okay. But when you're sitting here like, boy, how do I emphasize what I'm great at without coming across like, Ned Ryerson? Okay. So let me give you an example here. This is my dear friend. This is Barb Berry. Okay. Barb is a manufacturer, and we were working together in her LinkedIn profile. This was like almost 10 years ago. And I think it was so good. I'm still using it today. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. So we've talked about having that nice banner, having that awesome headline. We're now going down into your about section. Okay. Let's take a look at what Barb Berry has, and let's see what she says. Ulrich, she is a manufacturer of vertical filing cabinets. So any sensitive, delicate documents that cannot go horizontally, they go vertical. So think like, major architectural drawings, geographical maps, that type of thing. They have to be laying vertically. This company was founded in 1915.
Wow.
Ulrich has been in the business of large document storage. Bam, that's one of her keywords, since 1915. And that expertise has only grown with each generation. You can make one call today. You can make one call today and have access to nearly 100 years of large document storage expertise, leaving you time to focus on your business. Nicole,
I'm
what do you think?
noticing the use of the word "you" a lot, Curt.
Nicole, what was your takeaway in those first two sentences?
Pretty good. I like it.
Right. So they're using their keywords. So if you caught one of our keyword strategy sessions, having your keywords on your LinkedIn profile is absolutely phenomenal. She's worried about you and she's telling you, hey, we have your back so you can focus on your business. Companies like NASA, Boeing, Pfizer, Hormel, Siemens have all trusted. Another one that ranks up there with one of my favorite keywords, right? One of my favorite words. Ulrich vertical filing cabinets to preserve their engineering drawings. These filed engineering drawings include our country's first rockets into space. How cool is that? She used the word trust again. When you read it, she talks about different universities, different organizations, government agencies. She never uses the word we. She never uses the word I. She doesn't say our. She's worried about you. Okay.
Lots of social proof in there. I love it. Lots of social proof.
Absolutely. So guys, this again, like 10 years ago, and I just think it was so good. So Nicole, we want to make it all about them. Make it all about them, right? So here's a few, if you want to clean up that we, you're like, man, how do I avoid using, me, we, I? Here's a few just little helpful tips. Again, we want to flip the script and make it all about them. Okay. So dedicated to serving you the highest quality, committed to delivering you on-time service, providing you the best solutions, eating, drinking, sleeping, breathing until you reach success, unapologetically dedicated to solving your problems. So again, guys, whether you're providing, allergy-free foods, Stephen, your great product, Howard, all of you guys on here, whatever product and service that you deliver, think about the person on the other end, how they're receiving it, and how can you help them save their day? Okay. Nicole, what do you think about retailers going on LinkedIn? Do you see many retailers? So maybe at the SBDC, it's common that we get folks in a professional space, retail space. And what's your opinion on retailers? This lady is absolutely killing it on LinkedIn. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think if LinkedIn has your target soulmate there, you absolutely should be there. So retailers, there's definitely a place for you on LinkedIn. There's all kinds of buyers out there that are looking for whatever it is that you're selling. So absolutely, I think it's a great place. Great place to be for retailers. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, guys. So this is a woman, I follow her. She's absolutely hysterical. She has, and this is her old profile. I need to update this. She's updated since then. She's snarky. She's funny. She's hysterical. And everything she tags about, like she's the florist, like she brands herself as the florist on LinkedIn. Now, why is it so smart for a retailer? If you're like, man, why would a retailer be on LinkedIn? There's how many people are on LinkedIn? I don't know, Stephen, do you know? It's hundreds of millions of people on LinkedIn. The average income of the LinkedIn user is significantly higher than the other social media platforms. Every single person on LinkedIn is what? A consumer. They're a consumer. They are a customer. They're married, that have anniversaries. They are getting married. They have children. They have needs for retail. So I'll tell you, when I come, I don't deal with a lot of retailers, but on a case that I do, I'm like, man, I'll tell you, consider getting on LinkedIn. And another big reason, there's a lot less noise. There's a lot less competition. Whatever retail space you're in, odds are they're probably attacking LinkedIn or Facebook. They're probably on Instagram, so on and so forth. if you want to consider LinkedIn, that is I'm telling you, I think it's a great place for folks in retail. I was working with a chocolate manufacturer and they were going aggressively on LinkedIn. So I just wanted to share that one. Okay. Nicole, let me share with you this profile. Okay. This is a dear friend of mine. So Nicole, you treat your clients, your business, it's like your cause. It's like a mission, right? You right on your banner. What's your banner say? And your opening line, share with folks once again, if they popped in a little bit, a few minutes after we started, what is your mission helping clients?
My mission is to help my clients be successful and scale and grow their business. I love small businesses and I'm all about helping them grow, want them to be successful. So yeah, that is my mission. I love it.
Perfect. So guys, check this out. This is my dear friend. This is Rosanna. She is an attorney and you're like, attorneys, maybe a little stuffy, not think maybe not, I don't mean stereotype, but not quite the personality. She is absolutely awesome. But look at what she has in her about. So again, look at her banner, nice, friendly, smiling face of Rosanna. Here she is, nice picture. Here's her, her headline, obviously. Some careers are by choice. Others are a calling. For me, U.S. immigration law is my calling. I have dedicated my entire career to it and have assisted countless individuals and corporations transfer to the United States. I've spent 5 years, so on and so forth. Now she goes on. Now, I know she's using the word I, but she's going on. She is just a woman of integrity. She's talking about how she just dedicated herself, her career. You go to her website, they do a weekly YouTube video on all education, on how you can help, move the needle. I caught Stephen dropped in the chat box. Curt, you made me think of Rosanna Dana on Saturday Night Live. Again, that's before Nicole's time. She's like, who are you talking about? So that's an old. Gosh, Nicole, you're too young. No, I'm just kidding. I'm too old. So, all right. So that was a character, Gilda Radner. She was on Saturday Night Live. So we're talking a lot of Saturday Night Live. We had Bill Murray, we had Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, Gilda Radner today. So Stephen, we're having a great time today talking about Saturday Night Live.
Is there Chris Farley? Are we going to get Chris Farley in there?
You know what? I have Chris Farley in a different. I have him in a Spade in a different presentation. Okay. So. Man, okay. So anyway, but guys, the point in this about section is look what she does here. It's her calling. What's your calling? What were you put on God's green earth to do? Boy, bring that energy, bring that passion, share your expertise. How can we do it with humility? And, how are you making this world a better place? So that is, I love that profile. Nicole, how about community activity? I know you do a great job with some of your posts on LinkedIn. How about, would community activity be a good thing for companies
absolutely.
to post?
Yes, absolutely. People love working with purpose-driven organizations. People love working with people who are passionate. You just, when you're passionate, when you're purpose-driven, you just draw people to you, right? They want to be a part of it. People want to be inspired, motivated, and they're looking for that. So if you're doing anything like this out in the community, absolutely, you want to share it. You want to, people will get excited. They'll rally behind you. They'll want to be a part of what you're creating.
Absolutely. And I know like our friend Stephen, thank you for your comments here in the chat box, man. Dude, I know you are a big dreamer and you are super passionate about your product. Again, check out his website. Guys, if you came in a little bit late or if you haven't done it already, please drop in your website, drop in your LinkedIn profile, let everybody know what you've got going on here. This is a great example. This is a manufacturer in Miami, and they're a group of millennials. And I had the honor and blessing working with these guys, and they were very skeptical, resistant to getting on LinkedIn. Okay. One of the gals here on the picture, she was like blowing it up on Instagram years ago and some YouTube videos, but she's like, man, Uncle Curt, they call me Uncle Curt. They're like, Uncle Curt, LinkedIn's for like old dudes like you, so they were very resistant. So they started posting a little bit. Here they were on Earth Day, cleaning up the beaches in Miami. Here they're at a food shelter, giving out food. It says, hey, giving always feels better than receiving. Yesterday, we were at the Miami Rescue Mission. Well, they kept posting on LinkedIn. Guess what message I received one day? OMG. Uncle Curt, you were right. LinkedIn works. they get a lead, a wonderful order. Hey, Jennifer, I'm working on 3 restroom renovations. They manufacture those hand dryers, okay? Those air hair hand dryers and baby changing stations. That's what they manufacture. They get a lead from a college. If you follow these guys on LinkedIn, Nicole, do you know how often they post on LinkedIn?
All the time now, I bet. I bet you turned them. I bet they're
Every
all
they
over the place.
they are on LinkedIn every day, and they've
Yeah.
brought that Instagram kind of that fun millennial to LinkedIn, and they're doing awesome. So that was absolutely fantastic. Here's another, this is a manufacturer. Hey, Curt, I want to share the great LinkedIn news of the day. So-and-so got his first solid lead, and this was absolutely awesome. So again, guys, when you take, as Nicole just said, and time again, especially if you're in that B2B space, or, again, we saw that florist, even if you're in retail, LinkedIn is a great place to be. And one of our favorite words, it's free, right?
Yeah.
It's free.
Stephen has a great question here, Curt. He asked, is it in words or video? What is best? And I would say words, when you write text posts, you're going to get more reach. But when you post videos, your reach is less, but your engagement is higher. So both of them are good. They just serve different purposes.
You know what? And we're going to dig into a little bit of video. We're going to talk about LinkedIn Live on here today. So we're going to get to I told you this is the advanced crowd here at Temple University. So we're going to get into LinkedIn Live in a few minutes here. So all right. So Sean, I think you asked earlier about making connections. Let's take a deep dive and let's get into that right now. Okay. Nicole, it's time to pour it on, man. This ain't no party, right? This ain't no party. We gotta get serious here. So, all right, guys, what we just covered is like building out your profile. So we encourage you, welcome you, invite you. You want that banner, nice, wonderful banner. Get a graphic designer. Boy, you can go on like Upworks or Fiverr. You can find somebody extremely inexpensive and get a nice banner on your LinkedIn profile. Get that headline where you're comfortable. And again, share why and how do you make the world a better place. That's a great place to start with your headline. Okay. Unleash your superpowers. Nicole, you ready? Are you ready to unleash your superpowers here?
I'm always ready. Let's do it.
Okay. You had me at hello. All right. Pop quiz.
Great movie. I know this one.
All right. So I brought it up into like me. I knew you were all right. So can anybody name this movie? You had me at hello. It's our friend Renee Zellweger here. You had me at hello. Anybody drop that in the chat box? You remember this one? And who she's talking to has a really hot movie right now. Sonia, thank you. Thank you. Jerry Maguire, right? Show me the money. All right. Okay. You had me at hello. All right, guys. What I want you to think about with your business as you've niched down and you're laser focused on who your superpowers are. 4, okay? When we try to be everything to everybody, Nicole, we're what?
Nothing to no one, Curt. Nothing to no one.
Okay, so let's get laser focused. So think about maybe Stephen, with your awesome product, Sean, all you guys out there, Howard, Sonia, all you guys think about who are some of the organizations, agencies. Is there anybody out there that could attract 5, 10, 15, 20 soulmates for you guys? Okay. I'm going to show you a couple examples here. Okay. There's an organization agency called the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Manufacturing Extension Partnership, my jam, if you remember at the very beginning, e-commerce dude for manufacturers. So I connect with these organizations called MEPs. At 135, here's this note. Hey, Dr. Alyssa, fantastic profile. You've built an impressive career. MEP centers play a critical role for American manufacturers. Well done. It'd be great to join your LinkedIn network. Wishing you continued success. That's all I said. I didn't ask for a sale. I'm not trying to be salesy. That's all I said. At 145, she comes back and she says, hey, Curt, interesting work that you're doing. We're working on creating a webinar series. I'm curious if you might be a good fit for a speaker sometime. Nicole, do I like to speak?
Yeah, I think you do, Curt.
Can't shut me up, right? So, all right. So now let's take a look here. Hey, and this was back, man, this was like early COVID. And sure enough, we did a webinar. You and I just did a webinar. So 2 years later, I am super close with this organization. They are an organization that brings in manufacturers, my type of soulmates. They make it easy for me. I give them 100% to deliver good value to their customers, their clients. And so now we've created a good relationship. Again, think about those organizations, agencies. Let me share another. This was a funny example here. 12:58 on August 13th. Again, this is man, early COVID. This is 20, right? Hey, fantastic profile. You've built an extremely impressive career. Well done. Would love to join your LinkedIn network. Wishing you continued success. That's all I said. At 12:59, a minute later, thank you. Interesting work you're doing as well. Out of curiosity, what is the size of your typical manufacturer? I respond, when I went to this person, I'm good friends with her. When I went to her LinkedIn profile, guess what her profile said? She went to, now I can look at where she worked in her past. I looked at her college that she went to. We're here today at Temple University SBDC. 2 weeks later, beyond when I connected with her, I was doing a webinar at her alma mater at University of Miami in Ohio at the SBDC. So now for a little bit of social proof, hey, also I conduct e-commerce webinars for and manufacturers. Here's an example. Oh, by the way, it happens to be at your alma mater. Okay. You think we landed a gig? Absolutely. Here's a webinar. Again, this is how I make a living. So we did a webinar for this particular organization that targets manufacturers. So guys, if I send out a cold email saying, hey, how are you? What's going on? I can't ask for a connection. And if I say, hey man, I use the wee syndrome and start targeting about doing webinars, would that work? Nicole, do you think that would have worked?
No, what I love about your approach is it's just like whenever you're trying to build a relationship with someone in real life, right? You don't just walk up to a stranger and say, hey, you want to go on a date with me? Right? Like, that's crazy. Just go walk up and say, hey, let's go out. That just doesn't happen. That's not how you build relationships, right? So you have to think about, like, how would you build relationships with people in your life? It needs to happen organically, right? You meet a stranger, first you say hello, right? You connect with them. Then you start talking to each other and see where you might have common interests, right? Like you just did in that example. So I love that example because I think it just shows, like, you don't ask for that first date when you first meet someone. You don't ask for the, to do that right away. You've got to take your time with it, right? You got to build up and see if it's going to be a good fit.
Gee, Nicole, where were you? I needed a coach like you when I was in college, man. I was just, I didn't know that. I was just asking everybody.
Just ask everyone
I
else.
was just asking that's a whole nother story.
That says a lot, Curt. That
just
says a lot.
teasing. I'm just teasing. But again, so guys, what I've done, as a matter of fact, I'm constantly updating my LinkedIn profile. Okay. What I encourage you to think about is, so when I'm connecting with my soulmates, in particular, folks that can open up the door to dozens of soulmates, right? Now, right here, we have 20 some people on a call today. By aligning ourselves with the Temple University SBDC, I can open up the door. Like, there's no way I would connect with Steven and Sonia, Nick, Mike, all of you guys on the call today, Jennifer, Jasmine, Howard. I wouldn't be able to find all you guys individually, but by aligning myself with SBDC, it opens up the door to many. Okay. So I want you thinking about so our financial planner, think about, our allergy-free food. Think about who can open up the door to many and tailor your profile that speaks to them. So when they land on here, boy, if you're looking for financial planning, there is nothing on my profile that says I'm your guy. Nicole, if I'm looking for an HR expert, is there anything on your profile that I should reach out to you?
No way, man. That is not my jam.
Not your jam. Right? So, but the thing is, if I need HubSpot certified inbound marketing expertise, boy, you are the person, right?
Right.
So guys, when we were young, I don't know if you guys heard, when I was young, I always heard, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, with LinkedIn, we can take it one step further. It's not just what you know. It's not just who you know. It's what you know about who you know. And most importantly, it's what they know about you. Right? Let that sink in. And Nicole, we work with a lot of manufacturers. We're like, hey, we use LinkedIn. Like when we get a lead, we're going right to their LinkedIn profile. We're going to check them out. And man, and I hate to say it, when you go to their profile, they have no banner. They have like 100 connections. And I'm like, well, that's great that you're checking them out to see if they're a quality lead. But guess what? They're checking you out, So again, this is so important right here. Let me give you one more example. This is my dear friend. Man, I love this dude. This is my buddy, Joe. He's in Seattle. He is with the Manufacturing Extension Partnership in this great state of Washington. Again, you guys have seen a theme here. Same thing, 8/17. I drop a note. at 2 minutes later, hey, Curt, I'd like to learn more about your services. Now, check this out. What he does is especially like, was it Sean? Who was our financial planner? Like, say if you guys are in the B2B space or, our Sean, yep, you're our financial guy. The person that's doing like helping with importing and all the regulations there, when you're trying to set up those B2B appointments, look what Joe did here. Hey, Curt, I have a project I want to run by you. Here's my calendar link. How many of us get caught in that? Hey, Nicole, are you available next Wednesday at 10? No, how about Thursday? How about no? I'll have my people get to your people and I'll see you in September, right?
That's right.
He sends me his calendar link and made it easy for me to do business with him. Now, Nicole, I know you are HubSpot's certified expert. Are you helping clients like manage their lives a little bit easier here? What's your thoughts?
Absolutely. Yep. HubSpot has a calendar tool just like this that I use every day. Same way. So easy. You just pop your link into you can put it in your email signature. You can send it out in LinkedIn messaging, and all of my clients have this set up too. It's such a great feature. It makes it so easy to connect with people. Love it.
Absolutely. So not only are we making our soulmates' life easier, boy, we're making our own lives easier, right? And I have to admit, I have not mastered this. I have not. This is so. Nicole, what's your opinion of this slide? Look at what's going on here with this meme.
He looks pretty miserable. He looks like he's pretty repressed. I feel like he wants to say something. I feel like there's something he wants to get out, but he's just can't do it for some reason. I don't know.
What's going on here? Any feedback?
He's like I was over a year ago. I was afraid to open my mouth. I was like totally social anxiety. Anyone here feel like that? Do you feel like afraid to share on LinkedIn? It's a very common fear.
That's right.
So guys, gotta go for it.
That's right. So I do a bunch of LinkedIn lives, and it's such an honor, blessing, gift to interview amazing entrepreneurs just like yourselves. And so interviewed this woman, it was just 2 weeks ago. And she said, you know what? It hit me. Closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. And so the thing is, I should be the world's fat. Dude, that was funny, Steven. So what we want to do, I don't have any cheerleaders in my front yard, Nicole, cheering me on or like telling people how great, my product.
Is your wife a cheerleader, Curt? I feel like your wife's a cheerleader.
You know what? My wife was it. My wife and I went to high school together, and guess what? She was a cheerleader. So yeah, we have a fun little story there. So, all right, let's dig in. I think, Steven, you're talking about a couple questions here. Get this. Here's a stat not a stat, just a screenshot I pulled. Video gets 5 times more engagement on LinkedIn. Video gets 5 times more engagement on LinkedIn, but guess what? Live video gets 24 times that. Think about that one. Okay. So guys, what I'm going to do is all right. So we talked about we've talked about building out your profile step by step. And I know we didn't go into a super deep dive, but your banner, headline, nice picture, and think about that about section. How do we minimize that we and making it all about your soulmate? Okay. Now I showed you several examples and how do we get out there and connect? Maybe some messaging, maybe ask a question. How can we be sincere? How can we be genuine? How can we be that go-giver to help folks, right? Now let's go a little bit further here on putting content out on LinkedIn. And what I'd love to say, Nicole, is how do you shine that bright light on your soulmate? Okay. You just did. And I should have put up this post. So you have an employee on your staff. Her name is Joyce. Joyce is just a dynamo, breath of fresh air, salt of the earth, wonderful person. You put out a wonderful, beautiful post about what a rock star Joyce is. Talk a little bit about how you created that, what inspired you to do that for Joyce?
Oh, just because I just love her. She's awesome. So I just think about all the wonderful things that she's given to me and to our clients. And I wanted the world to know how wonderful she was. So I wanted to celebrate her. So yeah, I don't know what else to say other than she's amazing. So I want everyone to know about it.
That is absolutely awesome. And so, yeah, Steven, would you marry that to doing a live podcast? Absolutely. And I'm going to show a couple examples here. As a matter of fact, I tried to tell this a little bit for you, Steven. So, all right, guys, what we want to think about with your LinkedIn journey, okay, is how do you help and give value first? How do you help and be, and I know it's a little bit cliche of like, I'm throwing out like superpowers and rock star, and everybody uses that language today. And I guess I am as well. But we want to think about how do we help folks move the needle? Nicole, I almost have a goal when I get on a call on LinkedIn, like that virtual cup of coffee or meeting somebody first time. Like if I don't hear at the end, man, I'm embarrassed. Like who can I connect you with? It's like, it's a mission of mine. I want to go, the more that I can give, the more that I feel I receive. So think about how, when you get on that call, go through somebody's LinkedIn profile. A lot of times, last second, we just jump on a call. Maybe we're not prepared. Boy, use LinkedIn and come into that call prepared. Give that person everything you've got and think about, okay, how can I help this person move the needle? Because when they feel your commitment, boy, are they going to turn that around and try to commit to help your business? Absolutely. Right. So let's talk about, hey, Nicole, look at that wonderful person right there. So you and I met just this year. And I was so smitten, so captivated, so just blown away by your expertise. I'm like, hey, I do a LinkedIn Live every week. Would you be a guest of mine? What was going through your mind when I invited you?
So first of all, what you just said, Curt, about what you can do to help, that is just like epitomizes you in every single possible way. So I reached out to Curt completely out of the blue. I needed help with a problem, an e-commerce problem for a client. And I get on a LinkedIn, or I get on a Zoom call with him. We met through LinkedIn through a mutual connection. So I get on the call with him, and immediately he invites me to come to his LinkedIn Live show, which was crazy because that was actually a goal of mine. Okay. I met him. When did I meet you, Curt? January, February? I can't remember now. I met him at the beginning of the year, literally weeks before I had set a goal. Okay, I want to go on a live show. I want to do, a certain number of events this year. And then I meet him and he like within 10 minutes invites me onto a show. It was like a gift. It was truly a gift. He was giving me something that I really wanted and needed, and was something great for me. So he was looking out for me, and I just love that. I think it's a great example. So anyway, yeah.
See, I just see, good thing I have that random, like just asking people on dates, right? So guys, so get this. So Nicole comes on our LinkedIn Live. This is my partner, Damon. He's in Seattle. Nicole's outside of DC. I'm up in New York. And so we had a wonderful, delightful conversation. And get this dear friend of ours listened to the interview, and he was eager to learn about inbound marketing. This guy is a fierce networker. I'd say this guy could write the book on how to network. Yeah. Okay. Now, Nicole, I'm just going to share a little bit on what he typed here, but I'd like for you to share it. And I want to take a deep dive here, folks, because this is really powerful here. So this is a dear friend of ours. His name is Dan Bigger. Conversations are how relationships are started and grown. Last week, I was introducing Nicole Donnelly through good friends, Curt and Damon. She was on their show talking about what she does for HubSpot as a marketer. Yesterday, we had a one-on-one and a nice chat about what we do. My expertise is networking and making introductions, which is not a strength she believes she has. So I'm going to change that for Nicole's benefit. Let's welcome her to our community. Nicole, what happened from here?
Just a wonderful, wonderful, amazing. This opened the door for me to meet so many incredible, wonderful people that I'm now grateful to call friends and who've helped me with my clients. And I've learned so much from them. And it's just opened the door for me in a huge way, just to be able to meet and connect with so many wonderful people. So yeah, this was just hugely generous that he did this. And it really frankly changed my business and the trajectory of my business for sure.
Right. So and here's what's awesome, guys. So again, like wherever you're at, like you're just a step away from this. Like if Nicole, if you came to a LinkedIn webinar, a year ago, you've been like, wow, I don't think this is realistic, or like, oh, good for you. You're 10. I'm never going to catch up to you. Look at this, guys. See where this arrow is? There was 110 comments on this post. It completely blew up. And then a week later, this is a text message that I received. Nicole, do you want to share what's going on with this text message that you sent to me?
Oh my goodness. So someone who had come to the LinkedIn Live show, we had a one-on-one after the LinkedIn Live. I think we had one, actually, I had met him before. I met him before the LinkedIn Live, and then he came to the LinkedIn Live show, and then we scheduled a follow-up meeting. And he's like, you know, we just got HubSpot. We really need help with HubSpot. And we connected right away. And within 2 weeks of the LinkedIn Live show, within 2 weeks, I closed this huge deal. It was incredible. It was a wonderful gift. And it was all because I took the chance and went on Curt's LinkedIn Live show after meeting him, that I was able to build this bring on this wonderful new client, wonderful relationship that has just been such a blessing. And it all started from one LinkedIn Live event, all from LinkedIn. So it's just been incredible, the journey. It's been wonderful. And like I said, over a year ago, I was right where a lot of you probably are right now. So it's absolutely within your reach. You can absolutely, get there and conquer the LinkedIn. You can do it.
That's awesome. So, guys, I get this text, Curt Anderson, I just got this deal. I'm coming to New York buying you a steak dinner. So instead, we're going to meet in Philadelphia. We're going to get cheesesteaks. That's what I'd rather do. So guy, every time I'm at Temple, I always ask this, guys, Pat's or Geno's. If you guys, hopefully you're still there, drop that in the chat box. Are you guys Pat's or Geno's? Let me know. Steven, I love what you said here. I've spent over $400,000, dude. So I could sleep at night knowing I gave you the best chance of going home to your loved ones. And he says, you and God. So God bless you, dude. You're doing awesome. Sean DeNix, I love that. Neither. I go to Joe's. So guys, anybody out? So if you don't like, I'm a tourist when I come to Philadelphia. So I do I pun intended, I'm the cheesy tourist. You get that? Do you like that one, Nicole? So what I did there? I'm the cheesy tourist going to Pat's or Geno's. So drop in your favorite cheesesteak place, because next time I'm in Philly, I want those tips. All right, guys, I want to talk. So we're asking about, all right, so I'm a financial planner. I'm doing the importing, some of these other things that you guys are working on. How could LinkedIn Live, or how can this, you're going to stake a claim on that one? Stephen, that was good. Okay. Here's what I'm using LinkedIn Live as a tool. Okay. So I had a woman on my podcast. She's at the Columbia University in Manhattan. She's at the SBDC. She's a good friend of mine, just like here at Temple. She came, so she's over here on the right. This is Glamis. She, like, every year she wins like New York Advisor of the Year. She's just an absolute she's a Hall of Famer. She's not even an all-star SBDC advisor. Man, she's a blessing. She comes on my program. We do a LinkedIn Live. So I want to create a relationship here at Temple University. So I drop a note to my dear friend Maura. So let's talk about Temple SBDC. Man, did I mention their services are completely free and confidential? If you need help as an entrepreneur, boy, you need and want to reach out to the SBDC. So I drop a note to Maura. Hey, Maura, hope you're doing great. Would you have interest in joining me for an interview on June? Only 30 minutes. We'll spotlight all the amazing work that you're doing and explain how the SBDC helps entrepreneurs. You see this arrow down here? Sounds like a blast. I'm in. We had an absolute great time. Boy, if you want to connect, you need to connect with Maura here on LinkedIn or connect with her at the office. She came on our program. There's her beautiful smile right there. We had an absolute blast, had a great time. And through that, what it does, it helps strengthen our relationship. And again, I've had the honor and blessing of doing numerous programs here at Temple. And I absolutely love our relationship here with Taya, Garba, Janice. If you're out there today, anybody here from the SBDC, boy, they are amazing. What an incredible gift and what a wonderful resource for entrepreneurs at the SBDC. So, Nicole, I got a big day tomorrow. So amazing. Guys, with LinkedIn Live, what has also really helped is I've been like, I just raised my hand and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get out there and I'm targeting folks that resonate with my ideal buyers, my clients, my soulmates, if you will. So I'm in manufacturing. So I read this book by Joe Foster. Joe Foster is the founder of Reebok. If anybody's ever worn a Reebok shoe before, everybody knows Reeboks, right? Joe Foster founded Reebok in 1958 with his brother, and it took him over, I think, almost 20 some years. They finally cracked the code and they built $1 billion global brand. His book is absolutely amazing. Man, I can't encourage you enough to grab his book. It's called The Shoemaker. He's on my LinkedIn Live. He's actually a guest on our program tomorrow. So it's just, what an honor, what a privilege. All thanks to LinkedIn. And all I did is, as a matter of fact, I think I put it in here. Hey, Joe. So we connect. I read his book and I show him a connection. I'm like, Joe, Joe's like in his 80s. He's not going to respond to me on LinkedIn. Hey, Joe, still flying high from your awesome, amazing story. Awesome job. I conduct e-commerce training sessions for manufacturers. By the way, we do a weekly LinkedIn Live. Would you like to join us? He comes back and he says, yeah, Curt, I'd love to. So how cool is that? Like here, little old Curt, man, I'm in my basement in the middle of nowhere. I reach out to Joe Foster on Reebok. And so now honor and gift. And so what it does, I'm just trying to add value to my soulmates, to my community, to my folks, to my peeps like Nicole, to Joe Foster. And again, just, go out there and be that go-giver. So here's another one. So next month here at Temple University, anybody here familiar with Dory Clark? Nicole, you know Dory, right?
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She's a powerhouse.
She is a powerhouse. So guys, she's doing a webinar here for us at Temple University. It's at the end of July. And I apologize. I don't know if anybody here from Temple could grab that link, drop that in the chat box. But Dory Clark, she's a best-selling author. She's written multiple books. She's a top keynote speaker, but her book is multiple books. One's called Standing Out. Another one's called Reinventing You. She has one currently that's out right now called The Long Game. Man, she is a powerhouse. She's delivering a webinar here at Temple next month at the end of July, but she's going to be speaking for us on our program as well. We have Dr. Natalie Nixon. Again, she's a top-notch, top-noted keynote speaker. So guys, what I want you to think about, like, what are some ideal clients? What are customers? Do you see this process of shining a bright light on your ideal clients, on your soulmates that could help you move the needle? Nicole, I know you your goal is you're gonna be launching a LinkedIn Live program yourself, right?
That's right.
Share with the folks what kind of, like, if you don't mind, walk through like that process, or like what are your, again, like if somebody's out there like, man, I don't know, Curt, that's cool for you. You're just starting. Think, share with everybody what's going through your mindset as you get this journey started.
Yeah, well, I think for me, it's come in phases, right? So like when I first started on LinkedIn, the first thing I did was baby steps. I started commenting on other people's posts and sharing things there and building connections that way. Then I started getting more comfortable with posting myself and sharing that way, and then connecting with people offline. And now that as I've built these relationships and I have sort of a community, now I feel like I'm ready to take the next step and say, well, what else can I offer to my community that will be of value to them? How can I help my soulmates? How can I contribute to them and help shine a bright light on them? My soulmates are small business owners in manufacturing between 5 and 20 million in revenue a year. So my idea for a LinkedIn show is to try to interview those folks, bring them on my show, spotlight them, and talk about how they've built their businesses and grown their businesses so that they can get some exposure, increase their brand awareness from a marketing perspective. And it just allows me to be able to connect with them too. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's my next step.
Well, congratulations. I'm thrilled to be a part of it to help you on this journey. So again, guys, if think out there as, how could this bring value to your client base, to your soulmates, to your business? If there's anything, perfect. Somebody dropped it in there. There's Dory's webinar next month. It's at the end of July. I think it's July 20 something, end of July. You don't want to miss Dory Clark coming up. Now, what I want to talk about here is, again, back to those cold calls. Who loves making cold calls? So if you look at this process, okay, now by inviting people on to, say if you did a LinkedIn Live, and all right, so maybe you're like, hey, you know what, video's not my thing, Curt, that's really cool for you. Maybe how about typing? What if you do a blog post about one, so Sean, say you have like, Sean, if you're, I think you're the financial planner, say if you're trying to manage 401ks, maybe if you highlight a company, or maybe you highlight different industries, could you do a blog post? Could you interview somebody? Could you do a YouTube video about that person? Okay. And look at the amount of content that you could create about that person. Maybe you're using your keywords, right? As we niche down, maybe you do, I thought I said Reading, right? Reading terminal market. So like if you're in the Reading area, maybe you're like, financial planning services, Reading, Pennsylvania. Again, like whatever, again, Nick, Mike, Michael, Marianne, whatever your service, whatever your product is, think about your process, think about your product line, and how could you shine that bright light on that soulmate? Nicole, what I'd love for you to talk about for a second Empathy and curiosity. Empathy and curiosity. Could you share what's that takeaway from marketing? Empathy and curiosity.
Yes. So the core foundation of every great marketer, and I think just everyone as, as we build our businesses and build relationships, is you have to have curiosity for your soulmates. You have to really want to understand them, understand what their pains are. You really want to know them very deeply. And then you want to have empathy for them, for their situation, what they're going through. If you have curiosity and empathy, that really is a really solid foundation for being a great marketer, but also growing your business. Because the more curiosity and empathy that you have, the better that you're going to be at solving those problems that your customers are having and helping them, save the day, be the Yoda for them, so they can, so they can save the galaxy from Darth Vader, right? So that's the key, is curiosity and empathy, asking a lot of questions, really trying to dive deep and understand them.
Perfect. So guys, we're taking a really deep dive into understanding that ideal customer, and you're like, hey, Curt, I get the point. What I want you to think about, what are there some organizations, are there some agencies? So again, could you do a blog, like Nicole did a great blog post on her employee choice. Say I'm interviewing folks from the SBDC or this other agency that I talked about for manufacturing. Okay. Are there other agencies, what organizations, groups, if you're targeting, like say the allergy-free, products, can we target moms? Can we target schools? Can we target, little league teams? Like what are other folks that we could target that's going to bring us, how can we make our lives a little bit easier? So think about who can open up the door to many. Okay. How can we open up the door to many? Let me just show you another example here. I think this is really powerful. This is my dear friend, and I wanted to like that empathy and curiosity. We're building that emotional connection, and we're shining a bright light on our soulmates. Okay. So I drop a note to this dear friend of mine. Hey, April, hope you're having a fantastic week. Would you want to join me for a live interview? We can spotlight all the amazing work that you're doing, explain how your organization helps manufacturers. We'll crack a few jokes, have a few laughs. Does it sound like fun? Okay. Now I come back here, look at this post, man. I ended up doing we grew very tight here, but I want to just share this with you. I don't think you've seen this, Nicole. Sometimes you get presented an opportunity that is really exciting. You want to do it because you have it would be an amazing experience, but you have hesitation because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. There's that decision point. Do you do what feels safe and say thank you, but no, opting to stay in your no growth zone? How about that one? Your no growth zone. Or yes, I will, opting to lean into discomfort and experiencing to grow. Doing a live interview requires risk because there's no pause button, no reset. I can't ask to edit. Can we record it again? I'm going to go live with Curt, and look at this hashtag. Courageously uncomfortable. Absolutely love this. This is my dear friend, April. Beautiful. She came on, she talked for like we tried to go for like 30, 40 minutes. I think, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think we talked for like an hour. She was phenomenal, just delivered tons of value. We had a great time. Look what she came back with me. She goes, Curt, that was so much fun. I'm going to connect you with all of these people that you need to interview. Count these arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She connected me with 8 people, and I was sincere. Like, I just wanted to shine a bright light on April. Look what April did in return for me. Talk about go giving, right? So now when I want to connect with all these other folks in these agencies, now it's not a cold call. Now it's a warm lead, or I even got introductions from April. So check this out. She introduces me to this guy, Jamie. Jamie was an absolute, this gentleman in the middle, he's an absolute rock star. This is a national organization, and people know Jamie nationally. He came on our program. We interviewed him last year. Now, when you're on LinkedIn, you can see, they don't give you a ton of stats, but I can see what agencies were watching the video. Now, I'm targeting an organization called the MEP. That's a Manufacturing Extension Partnership. There's one in all 50 states, very similar to the SBDC is here, but they're targeting manufacturers. This top arrow, Gen Edge, that's the Virginia, right in your backyard. Nicole, that's your MEP right there. 4 people from Gen Edge watched. There's the Massachusetts MEP, 4 people. There's a New Jersey MEP, 3 people. And here's the Missouri MEP. So by just taking the time to interview Jamie, and man, it was powerful. I learned a ton. It was a fantastic interview. Well, guess what? I make a living doing webinars. I love doing these. I love hanging out with you, Virginia. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you had a great time. But here's, because of that relationship built, that opened a door to do this is a webinar that I did back in December at Missouri. So Nicole, as you're thinking about taking this journey and going with your LinkedIn Live, let's take it one step further. What are some topics that you feel that your soulmates would want to hear about? What are some specific areas that you feel that your soulmates would really get value to listen to you talk? Like everybody's time is precious. What's a topic that people could talk for, that would want to listen for 30 minutes?
Yeah, great question. I think for my soulmates, it's all about how can they grow, scale their businesses? What can they do to improve efficiency in their business? Leadership, entrepreneurship is huge to them, how to be a leader, how to be a stronger entrepreneur. I think those are things. And then what's happening currently for manufacturing companies, like supply chain, labor is a huge thing, all of those I think would be really great topics that would be really fun to talk with my soulmates about to get their perspective and see how they're tackling those things.
Exactly. So let's see who we still got with us here. So Sean, let's see, Howard, you dropped comments, earlier, solve their problems from my experience. Pearl, help contractors meet their minority participation goals. Becca, you're the allergy friendly friend of ours with the baked goods. So again, Stephen, you've been with us, with your cut and go product. Again, think about what information would tie in or would coincide, with Stephen, different safety topics, right? That would be extremely relevant for him, or other food, or other recipes for Becca, Sonia, think about other topics that are relevant to you. And again, when you talked about that curiosity and empathy, building that relationship, check this out. So when I do these LinkedIn Lives, what I do is I try to write up just a real flattering introduction about that person, right? So I go here and I'm talking about this is Dr. Messina, man. She has her PhD. She's a pioneer in virtual reality. She is phenomenal, absolute rock star. And she let's see, where she's at Morehouse College. She's, I think, the first female to all boys, college. She's the first female head of her department. Just a total pioneer, renegade. I wrote up this really nice note about her. Let me go to the next slide. Look at down here at the bottom. I could cry. How beautiful is this intro of me? Thank you. I'm so grateful, man. I mean, and I did I am so sincere with this and genuine. And again, when you come in with that empathy, when you come in with that curiosity, when you come in with that go giving, unexpected, anything in return, give value first, building relationships like this Dr. Messina was absolutely, what a gift. It was just so phenomenal of listening to her chat. She comes up and she puts out this post. Curt introduced me, this intro handled just like a girl dad. And I'm a daddy girl. And she goes on and on. And it was just a really rewarding, wonderful, now does that convert into dollars? Man, in that situation, I hate to say it, I didn't care. It was just what a beautiful relationship that I've built with Dr. Messina, who I respect and admire, and that she took time out of her busy schedule to share her expertise. And boy, the crowd that caught her expertise that day, they loved it. So it was just it was a win-win-win all the way around. Nicole, as we wind down the program today, let's talk about, we opened up talking about trust. Why is trust? Let's talk about this slide a little bit. How do we resonate that trust on, with consistency, reliability? Take us in a deep dive there.
Yeah, trust is so critical. That is like the core of every relationship that we have, right? It's so hard to gain and very easy to lose. And so you want to think about how can you build trust with your soulmates through your LinkedIn profile, right? Now that more and more business is happening online, that trust has to be built through these other platforms, right? So I think a lot of the strategies that Curt's been talking today are all really geared on building trust. How do you build trust? By giving, by helping first, by thinking about what you can do for your soulmates without expecting anything in return. And that's what builds trust, by focusing on their needs first and what you can help them with. I know that seems very like rah, but it's absolutely true. I mean, Curt is like the perfect example of that. So just when you're building out your LinkedIn profiles and thinking about how you can engage on LinkedIn, just think about how can you build trust with your soulmates? What can you be doing to give and help them? Anyway,
Absolutely. So guys, as we kind of take it home, we're coming into, and again, welcome any questions that you guys have. Drop, if you haven't already, you know, as we're coming in to the last few minutes here, please drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat. Stephen, you've got a couple comments here I want to catch up on. Hope it grows and leaps and bounds for you. There is no greater feeling than chasing the American dream. Agree 100%. You guys are cooking me up with all kinds of thoughts. I hope I can sleep tonight. If I can, I'm going to call you. You are more than welcome. And hey, you got a great book suggestion here, right? Read the book. What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Humstedler. So excellent suggestion here, guys. So what we want to do as you build out your LinkedIn profile, let's do a little recap. Banner. Have like a nice, wonderful banner. Check out Nicole. Check out my friend Wesleyne. I would love to connect with you guys. Check out other folks that you admire, folks that are in your space. Steven here on LinkedIn is absolutely crushing it. Dude, you have like tens of thousands of connections and followers. Find folks on LinkedIn and just kind of take a look at their banner. Take a look at that headline. How do you make the world a better place? Great place to start for your headline is how do you make the world a better place? Plant those seeds, nurture those relationships, man. And I'll tell you, Nicole, as you found out this past year, and I know you love going to your Orange Theory, right? It's like going to the gym. Man, I wish I didn't have to go to the gym, but boy, I was blessed with one of those physiques. Like I have to be at the gym 7 days a week. So LinkedIn is the same way. You've got, it's like that treadmill in the corner collecting dust and we're mad that we don't see results. Boy, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And you're finding that out exactly, right, Nicole?
Absolutely. You don't get a six-pack in a week, right? You don't get a six-pack in a week. It takes a lot of time and effort, right?
Yeah.
Same goes for LinkedIn.
I'm 53, still working on it. So that's all right, guys. So as we're rounding third, Al, thank you for dropping your LinkedIn profile in the chat box there. And I think, do I still have ours there? I'm going to drop, here's mine and Nicole. I'm dropping that. So guys, we're rounding third. I'm a big baseball fan. So, all right, guys, here's some tips and some takeaways. And Nicole, if you could please chime in on anything, when you come into those connections, over prepare. Boy, I can't encourage you enough. Over prepare, be the connector. Be the connector. Come in with 2 to 3 connections when you make that call. Look at that person's profile. Oh boy, they're in accounting. Sean, you're a finance guy. Like, all right, how can I help this person in accounting? Becca, you connect with somebody. You're like, okay, I've got my allergy thing going on. How can I help this person do their thing? Right? Come in with 2 or 3 solutions on how could they move the needle to help them achieve their goals. Right? Well, I encourage you, Nicole, talk a little bit as we take this home. How do we Stephen, I can get a 6-pack in 5 minutes. That was something about Mary, right? I think that was something about Mary. Was that one of your something about Mary quotes there, if I'm not mistaken? How much time do you spend on LinkedIn, would you say, since you started your LinkedIn journey a year ago?
Probably I spend definitely more than an hour a week. I probably spend a half hour to an hour a day on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm recommending, start that hour a week. An hour a week, man, that's like 10 minutes every business day. It's I hate to say negligible. Make 5 or 10 connections and get out there, be that go-giver and, look at their profile. Say, hey, where'd they go to college? Something in their career. Look for those common connections, those common bonds. Start posting. I'll tell you, one of the best ways, if you're starting from scratch, Stephen, you can probably test, you've built up a great profile. Go on folks in your space, maybe like little micro influencers or other folks, follow their comments. When you comment on their posts, you're going to get so much more activity. Not that I want you posting, but when you post on someone that has a nice crowd already, that's where your peeps are hanging out, right? That's a great place to be already. So
yeah, I would agree. I would say start with commenting. It's much easier than coming up with your own post, and you can get a ton of engagement that way and start connecting with people through commenting. So
perfect, guys. So here, as we wrap up, minimize your I, your we, your me, make it all about them, right? Here's how about Nicole? Do you know who this person is?
Who doesn't know Lucy Ball? Man?
Okay,
She's a
man, I was really
legend.
gonna be nervous if you didn't know this one. Okay, so guys, my dear friend Lucille Ball, I'm not funny. What I am is brave. What I encourage you, welcome you, invite you to do, boy, just get out there, just be brave. Man, I make a goofball myself on a daily basis, and just there's this great article I read recently. It was called "How to Have Obnoxiously Thick Skin." And just, right here, like Lucille Ball says, you don't have to be funny. Just get out there and be brave. So guys, find your LinkedIn superpower. Get out there, just like Nicole's been doing it. Steven, everybody on here has been doing it. Get out there, keep crushing it. Who's up? Who's ready to start crushing on LinkedIn? Can I hear a big heck yeah? How about Nicole? You ready?
I'm ready, man. It's awesome. I'm like in it to win it.
In it to win it. So guys, Al, Becca, Erica, Evelyn, Howard, Jack Queen, I hope I'm saying that right. Jennifer, Marianne, Michael, Mike, Nick, Nicole, Pearl, Richard, Sean, Sonia, Steven. God bless each and every single one of you. Thank you. I know how busy you are. We know that your time is precious. Thank you for joining us today. Again, reach out to Taya and the team here at the Small Business Development Center at Temple University. If you're outside of the Philadelphia area, reach out to your SBDC. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Nicole, thank you for joining us on last minute notice today. I appreciate you more than you know.
Happy to do it. This has been so much fun. It's been a pleasure to be here with all of you guys. Thanks for coming. We really hope that you got something valuable, and I can't wait to see you guys on LinkedIn crushing it. I'm going to be there to comment on all of your posts and support you. So go forth and conquer.
Awesome. Taya, thank you. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you, Curt and Nicole, for this wonderful presentation. You guys will receive a follow-up email of today's presentation as well as the PowerPoint. If you guys see in the follow-up email, there will be a link to a 4-question survey of today's presentation. Please, please, please fill that out. It is required by our funders, the Small Business Administration, who provide these great no-cost webinars to you guys, like the one you attended today.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.